everybody. Welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee. My name is Felicia. Super excited to be here tonight. Um, Happy Sunday, you guys, as we gather ourselves here. Just give me 1 minute. Hey guys, how was your Sunday? How is it going? How's life treating y'all? What y'all up to? What y'all did today? What was your Sunday dinner? We just got through Sunday dinner. I'm super full and sleepy right now, so if you see me dozing off, I beg. I beg, oh, I dey beg, oh, I dey beg. Went to church today and it was super nice. Had a nice time at church. Um, if you're new here, we want to say welcome to our community. Welcome to the fam. We are here chilling. Let me go online, make sure we're live because the last time apparently StreamYard dropped one of my pages from being live. So I just want to make sure that I am live. And you know what? I'm sitting right on there. I'm live. Okay. Cool beans. Cool beans. Cool. We're happy to be here. Let's share the show. So if you weren't here yesterday, you missed out. Make sure you catch up on yesterday's segment of submission. Today we're covering part 2. I hope our brother will be here today so we can cover these. I know everybody is adjusting to this new time. We're supposed to be here at 6, but now we're here at 7. 6 o'clock is just so close to cut, and I'll be late all the time. So I just wanted to make sure that we are here. So let me pin this. Am I not live? Okay, I am. Listen, I'm trying to figure this thing out. So let me pin the link in the comment section. Please do not forget to share and call other people. Let them know that the one and only Miss Kenzie is here. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Oh man, I pinned the link in the comment section. We have it pinned. It's pinned right there. So you're free to join us. Um, if you want to join us up here to have this conversation. Also, let's make sure we're sharing the show. Let's make sure we're letting everybody know to come and join us. Let me see. Okay, you guys, why you didn't tell me this? That I need to change this thing. Our new time is up here. And definitely need to change the show time to this. Well, welcome to Let's Talk with Miss Fee, you guys. I'm trying to adjust everything while I'm on here. This is weird. You would think I would come here 20 minutes early and set everything up, right? But no, I just have to be stubborn, not learn, and do things that is not very. Okay, let's pin this one up to the top. Up top. So now our new timing is at 7 p.m. I want us to keep it at 7 because 7 seems more like ideal. I know it's still late in Liberia, but it's okay. We're going to make this work. I'll teach you guys very soon. I'm going to try to focus on this and see how I can make it out of, you know, my income or things like that. But for now, this is like a side thing that I like. So that's what we're doing. So today, I want us to dive into this topic summation. We're going to go over things we discussed last night briefly. I'm going to brief you guys in, but if you want full detail, go sit and watch yesterday. You will be blessed if you watch it. I promise you. I promise you. I promise you. There's one. Guys, I can't sing, but I'm trying. You will get everything you need. I promise you, I'm always there. When you need a friend, I'll always be. So last time we covered the definition of what submission is, right? We covered that. We also covered what defines, who gets to define what um summation is in a relationship. We also get to talk about we only stopped on part one. So I don't know if we're gonna end this tonight. If we don't, we can always end it next week, but sometime during the week. You guys, my schedule now, I am literally home during the week, but I be so tired because I'm sleep deprived. I get to catch up on sleep on the weekend. And Monday through Friday, my body is on a different schedule. So, y'all bear with me as I try to navigate this new life and new schedule. But, anyways, let me recap. Let's see, recap. So, I was trying to hold on a little bit to see if our brother will be here. So, yesterday we unpacked point one. What does summation means, right? What does it actually means to you? We established that summation, especially in marriage, has often been shaped more by culture and tradition, and traditions are based on our Christian beliefs, right? You guys, I'm looking at my little notes here. That's what I'm trying to pull up. We talk about the verse in Genesis 2:18. We also talk about Ephesians, if I'm not mistaken, 5 21 through 22. We covered that, and it was a very, very nice comment where it reminds us that marriage was designed for partnership and not hierarchy. So marriage in Genesis 2 verse 18, marriage, how is exemplified in there, is not for us to have somebody who's above the other person. It was basically set for us to have that equal partnership, but one person knowing that they look up to the other person. It's kind of, when I think about this, I'm thinking about, a parent and a child relationship, right? Even though your child look up to you and everything, but they don't see you as somebody who's demanding, who's controlling. They see you as the source of where they get their support, and it's a loving relationship, right? That's what we get from our parents. And not so much of, well, hierarchy, you're in charge of, it's do it all or say it all, you know? So that's what we try to establish yesterday. We were helpers, suitable, not a subordinate. So, and I'm so happy how Jimmy laid that out there. We were not said to be, your wife is not your subordinate. She's an equal partner and her opinion counts. But she also understands that you are her gateway to God. And she honor and love everything that you have as a leader of that home, but also that that whole role is what holds that marriage together or that relationship together. Like I said yesterday, I don't care if you're boyfriend and girlfriend or whatsoever. Now, in my opinion, I do honor traditional marriages, but as a boyfriend or someone you're just kicking it with, wants you to submit to them, I'm sorry. Where are you leading me? You can't have me submitting to you and then waiting for your future wife or whoever is going to be with you to submit to you. So that's something that we try to establish on here. We also highlighted Ephesians 5, verse 21, right? Which sets the tone for the entire conversation. Submit to one another out of reference for God. So if you, as a Christian man or a woman, and you like love God and everything, you know that the rules and the goal is that for you both to submit to one another and not to act like, well, I am the man. Whatever I say, that's it. And I think that's what gives this wrong notion to the world or the group of women nowadays that submission is such for prejudice and somebody to just push you around and treat you like a doormat. But as we know, like I said on here, marriage was not designed by the government, or it's not something that the government is supposed to manage. Marriage is something that's supposed to be managed by God. It is designed by God. And if you follow God's rules of how it's supposed to be, it makes it so easy. And I feel like in this day and age, right, a lot of men and women do not understand the institution of how God had designed what marriage is supposed to be. It is an equal partnership. It's something that I support you, you support me. Without me, you don't exist. Without you, I don't exist. And I think if we all look at that and it's like, just because you're the one put in charge, we all can't just be, somebody has to take that bold step and that bold decision. And if we don't have someone who is the leader, then it just makes everything just kind of suffer. So if something happened, no one can stand up and take the initiative to get it done. So that's my understanding of why that design is set that way. So right now, if you're just joining us, we're recapping what we discussed yesterday about um sorry, we're recapping yesterday conversation about summation and men and women in marriages or relationship, you know how God set it up for it to work, and not for us to think that the other person is taking advantage of us. We are all set to do things differently. So today, in the next 40 minutes, we're going to try to unpack this part two. So actually, let me close that. So the key takeaway from yesterday is that if submissions, silence, diminish diminishes or control one's spouses, then it's no longer biblical. It is distortion. So if you're in a marriage and submission start to feel like, well, you're demanding me, you're treating me this way, you're doing it this way, it's no longer biblical. It's not. You guys, hold on one second. You guys, sorry. Mommy's first. Initial thought, I heard something fell, and I was like, I need to go check on my babies, make sure they're okay. But they're fine. They're playing, and boys, girl, they're always fighting. So, again, let me just give you this. The takeaway from me yesterday is that if submission silence, if it diminishes or it controls one spouse, then it is no longer submission. It's no longer the biblical concept that God put together. It's no longer that. Now it is a distortion. and it's no longer known as man-made, and you should be very careful and ask God for direction on how to do that. So today, let's jump into today part 2 and 3. We're going to try to make this as quick as possible. Part 2, we're going to be covering, today was drawing a clear line between healthy submission and harmful control. We'll talk about how submission should be voluntary, mutual, and rooted in love, not fear or dominance. Okay? So it's kind of like when you're placed in a leadership role, and you try to be controlling, try to demand that people do things your way. But in reality, you give people the tools and the things to get the job done, and not try to like deem the light and tell them, no, there's only one way you can get this done. It's my way, and that's wrong. So today we're going to talk about the healthy way of you know being a submissive relationship. And I know, like, nowadays a lot of people get this very bad and weird concept, and I don't even know where they get this from. um like this bad notion that whenever a woman said, well, I submit to my husband, they're like, what? I mean, my husband submits to me. It's like, what? But in my relationship, I like to say, we both submit to each other. We're not perfect. We have our things that happen, and we're like, sometimes we're human beings. We'll argue sometimes. But the other day I was just sitting and having conversation. Oh, look who's here. He made it on. Welcome. Are you on? Yeah. My first time seeing your face in the new year. I better find money tomorrow. Oh no, the internet is acting up on your end. So, I don't know where people get this notion that whenever you say submit, you're like, oh no, that's a bad relationship you're in. He wants you to submit. Listen to me. Being submissive does not mean it's a bad thing. And tonight, we're going to look at the healthy and harmful part. And when do we start knowing it's harmful? Like we learned last night, submission is not something that is a choice. It's not a choice. Once you're in a relationship that you consider your partner or your husband as the leader, yeah, he is. He is. Come back on, Andrew. Come back on. So hi, Miss Eva. Happy New Year. Good to see you on. Long time. Whenever you decide to be in a relationship that is deemed biblical or Christian based, you should automatically know, both of you guys, man or woman, you should know the goal and the onset of that relationship is that you both be submissive to each other. You guys, I hate having this show so early because my kids, they get so rowdy. I'll be right back. I gotta go find out what happened. Sorry, guys. I had to go break up a fight. These two children, it's 7. It's not even bedtime yet, so they are literally getting on my nerves. They're trying to look for attention. Welcome to the show. The internet. I won't post saying your Gario.
No, it's not the internet. It's I forgot. I thought my computer was plugged.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I
okay.
did not plug in it. So I had one computer here for somebody, my friend. So I thought it was my own plug in and the battery. So I didn't notice it gave me dead battery, but it's plugged now already. So we good.
Okay. Okay. Well, welcome to the show. Happy New Year. It's good to see you. Long time no see. Where you been hiding?
No, I've been here. I've
I
not been
miss
out.
you.
I know I miss you too. Well, you just abandon me. I tend to not bother you to let you rest yourself. The 2026 I know it will be a blast. So, but anyway, we will talk that one
Great
later.
things are happening. Great things are happening.
Talk to me about it, man.
Good things are happening, man.
Why Eva is saying here? Yeah, what she's saying
We
here.
tell God thank you.
Eva,
She said you having a hard time without your connection.
my house, she's telling me I'm a lost child. You see, that lady get wahala. You see how? Yeah, she's all right. Fee, she's wahala though. Yeah.
Long lost chat.
Me, she hear what she's
Everybody
saying.
miss you, see? Even me, I really, really, really miss you. I see
Really,
you. Where you been
really,
at? What
really.
all?
The last time 2 hours I was to talk, we were to talk. He said, "Oh, call me." I said, "Okay, I will call you." I didn't call. You said you didn't call. Anyway,
You
I
know
found
these
it.
are zombie now on the graveyard shift
I know.
while off on the weekend.
Yeah, that one, that family matter we're talking. But
Yeah.
don't mind what Eva is saying here. Like, wahala she want to bring. Don't mind her.
Well, welcome everybody. I was just recapping yesterday. Me and Jimmy talk about we're talking about this topic. We had to break it into because it was so much that we needed to unpack tonight. Hopefully we can close it in. Tonight we're talking about part 2 and part 3, where part 2 basically is focusing on submission, when submission builds unity versus when it becomes control. And then part 3, we're going to talk about redefining submission for modern marriages. Basically, because as we all know, right now, any modern millennial or Gen Z, whatever we're referred to, when you talk about when they're in a marriage, when a man says, I want a woman who's submissive, it's a total turn off. And I'm shocked to see a lot of Christian believing young men and women who just becomes total, like, they just be like, no, I don't want that relationship, which it really tells me that the church or the elders are not doing a really good job to to like educate us. I'm going to say us, on this section of this part, like the doctrine of marriage that God had designed, this institute we know is part of submission. It's really kind of sad that we will call ourselves Christians, but those little things that really matters, we're not being taught on how to really go about it and not be lost in translation. I just feel like as a Christian woman, when I hear the word submission, I shouldn't automatically go into, oh no, so wrong. But I should be open minded to understand what that individual is coming from when they hear the word, when they're saying submission. Is it based on biblical teaching, or is it what the word perceives submission as? You know, so that's what we want to talk about tonight. Hopefully we can close it in. I see another comment. I just want to pick on you. Miss Eva said, don't don't wahala me, Abby. Tell us what you've been. You in
Don't mind,
trouble.
don't mind Eva. Eva, that's why She's complete wahala, and she knows. She knows. So it, you.
I'll keep putting it, hiding it, put it back, bring it back.
She wants to be part of the panelists. I think she said doing our next show. She want to be part of the panelists.
Yes, please. I don't want to be the only one up here or me and Anna. Sometimes Anna is really busy on the weekend now. So yeah, we're taking more female. You guys, y'all come on, let's take on these men on here.
Now, she come and express her thoughts here too, though.
Come on, the link is in the comment section. Join us tonight. At least now we're coming early, so
No,
it's not like lately.
I'm not sure whether she's gonna join tonight. I think she's at work and she'll be monitoring. But she said, I mean, going forward, she would like to be part of the panelists to be, discussing.
Yes, you are welcome to. And give us some topic, any topic you want us to talk about. We're open to that.
I can assure you, she will bring some tough talking topic.
Yeah, I want this one. I want this one that I really like.
People who have wahala, they can bring tough topic.
Oh, you're gonna take that? You taking that?
She has no option. She will take it.
So tonight, key question is, I already recapped what we discussed yesterday. Let's just jump right into it. If one partner always has the final say, is that a leadership or an imbalance? So tonight in part 2, we're covering oh geez, when submission builds unity. When do you think in a biblical relationship or marriage, when do you see that it's building unity? How do we know the union is working together, and nobody feel like they're the equation is not balanced? So let's welcome our co-host, you guys. Happy New Year!
Yeah, thank you. I mean, it's so good to be here again. The New Year, I want to say wish you happy New Year, and want to wish happy New Year to all of our team members, those who have been following us from last year, and we've entered 2026, and they still here with us. We want to thank them for joining us, and want to welcome Eva. Eva is a good friend of mine. We want to welcome her back here. She's accused me, in fact, that I have not been sharing the show with her. And I'm like, how? Subscribe to the show and then you will follow everything. I cannot spoon feed you, man. So,
You gotta share it.
It is good. It is good. I had to share with her before she come on. But it is good to be back here on the show. I really didn't want to join tonight. She pushed me to come. Eva pushed me to come. She called me.
Why you don't want to join? What?
No, I didn't want to join tonight because I'm not too well. But I will take my time. I saw you and I felt like, oh, she alone on our show. Let me see if I can join. But it is good to be here again, and the topic is quite interesting. I partly viewed it last night, and it was quite interesting, and the discussion went on well. And so we here to continue. You see, when it comes to the issue of submission into marriage, and we talk about the balancing and imbalancing, people turn to bring out, they want to bring out the biblical side into marriage, and vis-a-vis looking down upon other people. The Bible will say, and the Bible says, husband, love your wives. Wives, submit to your husband. But when the submission we're talking about, we not ask you, it should not look like a submission that will dehumanize the person.
Right.
It should not look like a submission that will make the person feel that she's nothing. So the Bible says two cannot work until they agree. So the both of you as husband and wife, quote unquote, You must agree with certain principles in mind, and that's how you guys going to agree and move forward. But on the issue of the submission aspect, the Bible said it wants to submit. But some people are holding on to that biblical information to look down upon women, to denigrate them, to disrespect them, especially those who are so bent on the Bible, and they say, "Look, the Bible says, woman, you should submit." But they are not looking at the biblical context of what the Bible is saying, but they're not looking at the physical reality of submission. And the physical reality of submission, if you tell the person to submit, the person is submitting you, but it doesn't mean you should go and disrespect the person. It's not mean you should be in disrespect. That you will come and take all your junk, all your jinx, all your Tom, Dick, and Harry from the street, and you come and do it, and you say she should submit continuously. That will be shown out of disrespect to her. But yet you're asking her to submit. But you are there, you are not respecting her. But yet you want her to submit. So you see, when these things happen like that in a relationship, you will find out that one person will be a renegade. One person will tend to rebel against the other person. And once there's rebellion into a relationship, that relationship will sour. And when it's sour, it means that it is not going anywhere further. It would degenerate into chaos, and possibly both of you will go your separate ways. And I don't think we want it to be that way. Let me pause and see, maybe you can hear further comment from you.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. I agree with you. I just think most of the men that do that, they're not properly trained and not understand their role. So I got some comment for you. Where was this? Welcome to the show. We will have mid. What is it called? Midweek election. We have to plan the election.
Rosa Pro, you're playing Phil. And a violent ticket about food. This. So you want to take my inheritance from me, Rosa?
We're gonna have midterm election. No, he's telling the truth. We're coming to have midterm election.
You want to take my family inheritance from me, Rosa Pro? You plan to cook behind my back.
We have to have a midterm election, Rosa Pro.
My brother, it's a bit crazy, my brother. I'll try to get to you so we can talk. You know, it been so crazy. Who does it feed us? You know, it been kind of crazy, but we will get there, my brother.
Oh, I'm so sorry. The flu. I hope you don't have that one that I had. That thing locked my entire lungs. Oh my goodness, it was so bad. Everybody was we sending you speedy recovery. Get well soon. I know it's not easy this weather. Today, right after church, while we're coming outside, it started snowing really heavily. By the time we drove further, the snow stopped. I was like, what is going on? Global warming.
Yeah, eventually we were today too. Later on, it stopped too as well.
Yeah, it's a great topic. And then we have Miss Eva said the Bible also says in Ephesians 5:21, submit to one another as husband and wife. Yes, Miss Eva. Yesterday, that's where we cover in part 1 when we try to define what submission was or is. You know, tonight we're covering part 2 where we're discussing when does submission become a unity? How do we know, like based on biblical teaching, that both partners have understood, you know, what it means to be submissive to one another? And when do we start seeing, what are some of those signs? Yeah, let me put it this way. What are some of those signs that people can watch out for when it's not of the Lord and someone is just trying to, you know, dehumanize, you know, someone's daughter or someone's sons? Because let's be honest, some women are very, very dominating, and they will try to act like they're the one in charge and use the scripture too as a tool. So when do we know that people are using the scripture as a tool just to, like, um, be prejudiced against the other person? For instance, I think recently I watched a video, and one lady said she's looking for a partner and she's willing to be submissive. And she started naming her submission was she'll cook, she'll clean, she'll, you know, do this and do that, like all these domestic things. For me, when I look at submission, I don't think it's all of those domestic things. I think it's just, understanding and following and knowing that whatever authority that God has given the leader of the home, that you trust and believe their guidance on that. That's my understanding of that. I don't see it as, me cooking and cleaning and all that. That's submission. No, that's something that just comes with who we as women, who we are, and things that we do, because we're more nurturing and we're more helpful to our family, and we are basically the one that built the family unit. So those things just come naturally to us. That doesn't mean men cannot do it. It's not just solely women. I think it's just something that you do. But when I'm thinking about submission, it's just if you're doing something and your partner said, well, I don't think that's the right thing, you believe and understand their judgment and the authority of that home. Or someone said, we're not doing, or your husband said, we're not doing this anymore. Moving forward, this is what I want us to be doing. And you trust and understand their guardianship of that. So I think most modern women kind of misunderstand this whole concept of submission, in my opinion, based on what I understand. So for me, I think it becomes a unit when both party understand their role and how it builds that family. Like as a woman, I know that I cannot stand and just make the final decision without my husband. I know my husband need to be the main person discussing with him, and together, if it's something that benefits our family, he can say, well, I can say, well, I'm comfortable with that, and he can say, yes, this is what we should do as a family. So that's more of a, because submission is, to me, it's like an equal partnership, but you still have someone who's in charge. Like I was giving an example, when you work at a job and you're placed as the leader of the team, and you're there to give like the instruction of things how it should be done and what should get done for the day. The goal is that these things get done following the rules, not for you to be there and be down their throat and say, no, 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 no. The way you're moving that rope, I want you to move it this way. No, the way you're moving this patient, I need you to move them this way. With, like being more respectful and being a servant, having a servant mindset, and not being so micromanaging, and whatever I say, that's it, your input doesn't matter at all. To me, that's when you start knowing that this is not a biblical submission type of relationship. This is something he just want to be controlling and be a dictator over me, that whatever I say does not matter. I'll stop right there, and we hear from you some more.
Yeah, thank you. I think you could not put it more, any better than this. But to follow add on to what you just said is like captions talk about control and
Mhm.
disguise as because of tradition, or it is because submission is based on love and unity to strengthen love and unity. Let me bring up the issue of the love and unity aspect into as it comes look
Mhm.
as it talks about submission. You know, when submission is in marriage, it is not just on one side because the Bible says someone should submit and someone should love. This is a win-win situation. It should be both end.
Mhm.
In order for love and unity to be strengthened in the home, both partners, meaning the husband and the wife, They need to coexist.
Right.
They need to believe into each other. Because if one person feel domineering, obviously, and the other person feels overlooked, because if one is like, oh, I'm the head of the home, and whatever I say is what we do. And the other person is saying, no, no, no. In as much as you are the head of the home, but will not allow you to do this for me. You are trampling on my rights. Okay? You are trampling on my right. So in that process, both for you, in order for unity to come on, you both of you should agree. Both of you need to agree. And this is what we said. When we talk about agreement, two cannot work unless they agree. So in order for the unity to build in a family, one person, people must, both of you should submit to each other based on ideology, based on mutual understanding and consent. But if you think you as an individual, say the woman, remember there's some women who feel and who think that they must dominate the relationship with whatever they say, whatever they do, and whatever they think must be the final. And you're gonna get a man, but the man will come to you, hey, you remember you're supposed to submit to me? And again, some other men said, no, I will not allow that to happen to me. I'm the head of the home. And because I'm the head of the home, you, madam, you must submit. So if the person, because it should be done in proportion. If I'm the husband, I am not receiving that respect and submission, and you want to be domineering, you want to do everything, you want to say everything should be the final, I will also get in my own jacket. And I will say, look, I am the head of this home. And I will not sit here, you do this to me. And when that starts coming, somebody want to exercise power and control, then what happens there? There will be a complete breakdown in law and order in the home. Then what happened to the case? The case go helter-skelter. Mom and dad are always quarreling. Especially when you have a woman who say, look, no matter what you do, man, I don't care. And mind you, if you have a woman who is financially potent than you as the man, there are some when they are financially potent, they will leave the submission role and jump into domineering role. Some women, vice versa. So, in order for love and unity to prevail in the home, both partners, in a much that submission is being ascribed to women, and love, caring, respect is ascribed to the men. But that is biblical. But when you go in a home, in order to make sure the home is making progress, and everything is working around in the home positively, both of you have to come together in agreement and understanding each other's views, listening to each other's views, reconciling the views, putting them together, and make one big decision. But if the decision is left with one body, and other person say, okay, with everything that happened in the house, you want to be you want to be you want to how do you call it? You, me, and I, you want to be everything in the house. I will not take it. And because you will not want to take it, it will bring commotion. And when commotion comes into the house, everything will run helter-skelter, and peace cannot be in the home. And God blessings will leave the house. I want to turn to pause on that moment.
Absolutely. Man, you said it all. I don't know if there's anything else I can add to that other than I agree. Miss Eva says submission is not task oriented rather than in our mindset. I agree. And I think this is something, in my opinion, I think before anybody get married, when they're going through that, what is it called? That marriage, you guys, my mind is blank right now. When you go to the marriage counseling, I feel like submission, I honestly, actually, before I even say this, I honestly think marriage counseling should actually start when people are courting from, let's just say when you're boyfriend and girlfriend and you decide to you're like, okay, well, I like this person. Of course you need to be marriage mannered when you're dating or whatsoever. That's just, I just feel like that's important. If you're not and you're just floating with the air, then oh well, you'll be floating with the air. But I feel like if you're marriage minded and the goal of dating is for you to find a partner that you have built your life with, when you are going through that, I think this is something that needs to be taught. Also, I also think ministrates in like the young adult, ministry, that they're, some churches have, young adult, ministry. I feel like this is something that that they need to start teaching so people really understand that marriage is not about when I have my husband and I submit it, I'm automatically whatever task I'm supposed to do in the home. That's what that means. I need to be submitted to. So definitely I think this is something that people really need to teach, even if your church is not teaching it. I think this is something moms and dad need to start grooming their sons and daughters to understand how important this is to build a lasting relationship. Because most of the things that I believe is really ruining relationships, just a lot of misunderstood things that people don't understand about relationship or marriage as a whole. And when they get to that part, and it's just kind of like, and if you're going through marriage counseling, I think it should last for about a year and a half, in my opinion, because I think you should take baby steps to understand these things before you actually say, yeah, I want to get married. I honestly think I didn't do this, but I think people should do marriage counseling before they actually engage to their partner. I don't know. That's just my mindset. But hey, who am I? I'm just saying that's something that I will encourage my kids. I didn't do it, but I didn't have this knowledge before. Now I'm thinking about it. The way the entire world is going, I think when people are boyfriend and girlfriend, they should go through marriage counseling separately, understanding what marriage is and the foundation and where it was established. And then now when you have a partner you're courting with, then go through marriage counseling as a couple to understand that. And submission should definitely be a highlight of that counseling, in my opinion, you guys. Let's look at Rivers for what he said. He said, one of the key component of submission is a wife trusting your husband. I agree, decisions as the head of the home. Do you always trust hubby's decision making? What if his decision goes contrary to your belief? How do you reconcile yourself? That is a really good questions in this comment. So I agree. I think I feel like people before you even get married, you also close your eyes and try to envision, like, God forbid. So I dated somebody that, and this is the same person that I broke up with. That was probably the only relationship I had that was long before I got married. So most of my example about relationships probably from that. So when we dated, I remember we're at a verge of breaking up, and I'm a very open minded person, but I'm somebody who, if something bothered me to the point where it's like bothering me, I want us to talk about it. So we went through this stage where we were talking, and I was trying to understand his mindset about Christianity and things like that, which were very questionable, but I don't even know how we even still continue. Anyway, that's another whole story. So I remember he was telling me, well, I was telling him, well, this is not going to work, and he wanted us to stay together. And I remember the first thing came out of his mouth, a lot of people when they're together, if they have children, he's because we had dated for maybe about 3 years. And he said, well, if we have a kid, that will make our relationship stronger. And being me, I looked at him, was like, absolutely not. Like, this is it. I'm done. This is my sign. I need to run from this relationship. Because if your mindset is that if you and I have a child together will make our relationship strong, you and I don't need to be together. Because even though I've never had children, I've watched family member with kids and I know how much of a big deal that is. And me sharing my life with you for the rest of my life, that means a lot.
Let us conclude today.
Oh, I can hear you. I hear myself.
That's my own suggestion.
Drew, where did he go? Let's mute him. So, you guys, I was like, no. So, to answer your question, in that moment, I felt like I started closing my eye in that vision. In that vision, I was like, God forbid if I had a child with this person, and God forbid I died, how will my children live? The morals and legacy of my life, how do I want them to live? Do we have the same thing? And when I started thinking about that, that made it really easy for us to like just call it a quit, right? Um, also, when I feel like when people are thinking about marriage, that is the first thing you should vision. If we were walking down the road, there was something, do I completely trust this person's judgment that I'm completely safe with them? Like, do I, because at some point your partner will help you make a decision about your parents. I don't know if people think about this. Like if your parents is sick, God forbid, and you're the only child left, you will consult with your parent, with your partner, and they will help you guide. They will guide you through making consensus decision that will affect the rest of your family as well. So, like these are how do you view their morals and all that is very, very important. So when it comes to this question where you said, do you always trust hubby's decision making? I wouldn't say always, but I think one thing about my husband's decision making that I would say that that really sit well with me is the fact that even though he will come with decision that he wants to make, but we make those decisions as a unit. And this is what I would say I'm very, very comfortable in my relationship. That's as a millennial woman is making me comfortable to keep it going because I feel like we can both sit down and have a conversation. If he's deciding to do something, he, even though he's making up his mind, but he will sit me down and say, hey, this is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And what angle are you looking at it? And if I say, well, I don't think this is going to work, and he'll ask me, well, give me your reasons. Like, why? Lay it all down. And as a person who I feel like I am very good at pursuing people, I know how to like get you to understand my part. I'm very persuasive, I think. So I will lay everything down and then we end up making that decision as a unit. Also, what if decision go contrary to my belief? It has happened. There are some times where he's made decision, or I've come up with a decision, and he look at it from another angle and lay it out. And I believe and trust his judgment. And I'm like, okay, yeah, you're right. Let's go that way. But I will tell you, actually, 9 times out of 10, he and I always thinking the same way. So we haven't really had this moment where it's like tug of war. Well, I don't believe what you're saying. You go this way. But 9 times out of 10, some things he comes up with end up being things that I'm thinking. And some of the things that I'm thinking, it comes out that way. It's been rarely sometimes where we don't agree on the same thing. And and it's fine, but majority of the time we always agree. So those times that we don't reconcile, I just try to tell him, well, I'll think about it. And he will say, let me think about it. And 9 times out of the time, he come back and realize his decision is the right one than mine, or mine is the right one. But we always try to make decision as a unit. Let's hear from our co-host.
Fee, continue. Let me answer the call quick, please.
Okay. So I hope that answered your question. Let's go to the next one and say, why do you think the biblical concept of submission is often misunderstood or misinterpreted in traditional culture? Great question. I would say because, and I'm going to say this actually, I was trying to avoid saying it. The concept of marriage, the reason we see it like as dooming, like as if failing, like capital F, fail, is because we're trying to take it on as our own thing when it was never ever designed by man. That's the first thing I want to lay out. I don't think man and women concept of marriage would have never worked, and God concept is what really define marriage or relationship in general. We've seen where parents and children are falling apart because we're trying to redefine what it means. And we as men and women or human beings, we can never ever take something that actually belongs to God and try to think we can make it better than what its intended purpose was. So one, people submission is very, very misunderstood because again, people are trying to create what they never understood, and they're trying to design it, and they're thinking, is man in control? Now, I know a lot of people talk about, you know, well, marriage, I don't believe in marriage because the government never designed relationship. The government got involved because people were taking advantage of others. So it's kind of like you being a parent, and I think we talked about this last week. You being a parent and not properly following how God put you to guide those children and groom them for the better of society. Now you're using different type of things to, control these children and, abuse them. So, and we all have to know that the Bible did not exclude government out of it. We were also taught to respect the authority of government. But when people start to misinform people and change the whole doctrine of or this institution of marriage and family life and things like that, things start to fall apart because now men's minds start to change and we're all becoming more knowledgeable and we're learning so much, and we feel like, well, that was back in the days. And we always have to understand the agenda of the devil is to make sure he misinform us and guide us and sway us away from what the intended purpose of things are supposed to be. So when it comes to people being misunderstood, lately we see in the media where men of God, supposedly men of God, are not teaching the word of God. They're misleading people. And the goal of Satan or the demon or the enemy is to make sure that he makes us feel like we're similar. Things that are happening, whatever is happening is similar to what God's teaching are. So it's kind of like confuser. So in short, to say that people are misunderstood because one, they're not being taught the core value system or the core doctrine of what the institution of marriage is and the things that falls under the institution of marriage. And I believe submission is the key things that were built in there, because in order for you to so I'm a manager, I'm a hospital, right? And in order for my team to believe me or follow my lead, I believe in the thing called lead by example, right? I can't tell you do this and I'm doing the opposite. I have to be actually the model of what I'm preaching to you. And now people don't believe it, because if a man of God is telling you submit to your own husband, this is the teaching of God, this is how God wants us to be. And then at the same token, things are coming out and saying, well, this man of God is beating his wife. He's dismantling her entire body and doing things to her. And at the same token saying submit, but then the example where people are seeing her submit and this is what's happening to her. So people start to say, no, that's not what submission is. But when it's taught and exemplified in a way that God intended us to be, then it becomes something that people are not misinformed. Give me a minute. I'm gonna drink some water, you guys. So going to the second part, traditional culture. We know culture is unique to a specific group of people. Traditional is what uh a like a group of people within a society practice, right? So we've come to understand people want to live for God and then they have their own tradition. So they try to tie this tradition to make it justifiable to God. So if their tradition is to treat women in a certain way, then they use biblical teaching as a way to cover that up and say, well, our tradition said they align with the Bible. The Bible says you should submit. Like I know somebody said, uh, what does it say? Spare the raw. The raw is not a steak or a belt, and I think people, I guess it's how people are understanding it. When it says spare the raw and, get it, whatever that scripture say, I can't really think about it. But the raw is a metaphor items, which is the truth, the the discipline. It doesn't have to be beating or a swish or things like that. Spare the rod, you can use it as that, but it's a metaphor of what it is you're supposed to be teaching, in my opinion. Maybe that's something else. You guys who are very more knowledgeable about what the Bible says about sparing the rod. But for me, when I look at it, I'm not looking at a physical thing, because when and somewhere in the Bible talk about chastise, right? Is correction, rep, retribution. I think that's what it means. Chastising someone is not beating them, but in other talking, some people will say, "I chastise you," meaning like I'm gonna beat you, or use the switch to do corporal punishment. It's not that. It's me correcting you, and whatever that form of correction is, it's not for me to actually beat it out of you, because when you're beating someone, you're temporarily placing fear in them in that moment to stop that item. But the goal of discipline is that whenever I'm not there, that thing linger around, that you will not do it in my absence. But if I'm physically there and I'm being physical with you, that means while you're here, I should stop. But when you're not here, I do whatever I want to do. So going back to this, why people misinterpret it in traditional culture, because traditional culture have their own set of value system and how they want things to be ran, instead of the value system of biblical teaching. Because when you look at it, we always try to find things that will cover what it is we're doing in our tradition and make it sounds okay, instead of us doing something else that the Bible says. And we will always try to find things to cover that up. I hope that answered your question, Rivers Pro. That is just my understanding of that. Let's go to part 3. So before we go to part 3, let me just close this part out really quickly. Let's give the closing of that, and we can jump to that. So in a nutshell, what does when submission builds unity, we know that both partners feel safe. They feel like you have the best interest of them, and that you are living up to God's purpose. That when you pray, that their prayer through you, that God is understanding them and you. So when we look at that, the key question I want to go out with this point is that if one partner always, if their saying is the final and nothing else you say matters, you should know that submission is not being executed in a biblical way. If everything I said is like hush, hush, women, let me send you the link. When everything I said is, women are not supposed to stand up in the church and give testimony. That's not submission. Or I'm coming to church and my husband says, stand behind me. You're not allowed to stand in front of me, or you can stand next to me. And if you don't do it, you're not submitting. That's wrong. That's wrong. Please stop. Don't do that to someone. That is wrong. Yes, yes, yes. So Rebecca's we're gonna try to come on. Let me send you the link. I need to make a conscious mind and be email and be inboxing it to you. So submission has to be something that is kind of like leadership. I knew a leader that was in another department, and everybody afraid of her because one, she talked down to the team member. The way she talked to them, these are grown men and women, and she just, oh, you will not do any better. Like the way you talk to them. Your kids cannot even submit to you if you talk to them in a very disrespectful and you disregard anything they say. It doesn't matter how little somebody is or whatever they are. Their input of certain things is very important. All you have to do is just listen. And if it doesn't make sense, you can guide them in the right way. But it's not building unity and love if nothing you say matter and everything says it all, do it all in our relationship is what your partner says. Then you're not building unity. It is distortion, and you need to pray. So we'll close that topic, that point over there, and we try to do the next one in the next 10 minutes so we can try to close. We don't try to be here too long, you guys. You're back? Okay. So let's go. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thank you. I mean, interesting. Sorry, I got distracted with the meeting, and so they wanted me to make some comments. Here, who?
Yeah.
They wanted me to make some
I
comments.
think I
So I
for
was trying to make the comment. But
okay.
I tend to make my contribution forward back to Riversource Pro, who just come in. Happy New Year to you, my brother. And you attack me straight in the New Year. You didn't even do something. You want to bring full send my Gary. But
you go again. He left.
I don't know. He checking because I tell him. But he made a point. He said, do you always trust your husband? You see, we're talking about submission. He said one of the key components of submission is wife trusting your husband's decision as a head of the home. Do you always trust husband's decision making? So you can go ahead. Let me talk to you quickly.
No, if I finished that one.
Distracted. Let me finish first. I'll call you right back.
Okay. Then I'm going. Anyways, welcome to the show, Riverside Pro.
Am I on?
Yes, you're on. You here?
Yeah, I don't know. This new technology asking me all kinds of questions.
Oh, they updated. StreamYard updated their platform. It's so crazy.
I don't know why I'm so low, Fee.
I can hear you. We hear you good.
You can hear me? Okay, so thank you very much for the show. I plan the 2026 to face my background and everything. That's why I want to be coming on, because 2026 is not time to be in the shadow and that dark screen, all that stuff. So, but I'm still working on downstairs. I told you that green pin they get. I want to take it off. That's my little man cave.
Hey, they green okay, man. You let
I'm not into decoration. No, I'm not into it. I like plenty color business. Yeah, I'm a plain white background person, so I will try to get some pin fix that place, get my little laptop, and hopefully to be kind of active on the show. Yeah, wasn't really feeling well, but this is the topic. I gotta come be with my family later because I can't trust that co-host. Yeah, coming back and forth and But anyway, Fee, great topic. I think there's something from your last show. I was going to bring it up. I mean, if you feel comfortable with it,
Sure.
Yeah, I know you're an open person, you don't really mind, but it was our last discussion on parenting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna bring her in line with the submission thing. So thank you so much for the contribution you made for these topics. I think that that verse that says evil put up there,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Fee, till this day, I haven't grasped the concept because that verse is being misinterpreted in different forms. When they say wife submit to your husband, or it's I think people, because before I came out, I was doing some little research, and it's it, it's something completely different. It's not as people think it is. It talk
Yeah.
about, just like you said, you and your husband sit down and make decision. That's the submission. From what I was gathering, and then at one point it said that you should not live in fear as a wife. And then it also talk about what else it said. It talk about that he is not your spiritual or leader. Something, a whole lot of things I'm looking at. So it limits as much as it empowers the man as head of the home. It doesn't make the woman to be inferior or less.
Yeah.
That's why a lot of people, when they look at that verse, especially people feel, oh, husbands or wives should submit to the, they just say plain blank like that, and people misinterpret or misrepresent that particular. So it is important, we don't know from what context, because a lot of the scriptures in the Bible, they speak from different context. Like Paul will be speaking to the people of Rome. He will be speaking to the people of Ephesus. He will be speaking to the people of Thessalonica. And those people, they had their own. Some of them were Gentiles. Some of them were Jews. The Jewish tradition was different because it's like total submission. So when we discussing this thing, we look at it from different point of view. I grew up in a traditional home where my dad was I mean you guys know how Liberia is. My dad was like a dominant figure. He was more like a you know, how they call it, patriarchy family. So he controls a lot of things. And my mother was just there, you know, to cook. And, she never formed part of decision making. He would come and, you know, uh, do what he wants, send my children going to this school, and this is what I want. And my mother, we live under that, even when something got missing in the house. I remember growing up, and this is, as much as I love my father, may his soul rest in peace. And but I, as I go back and think that when things get missing, we looking for it. Like my father, he would eat with a particular spoon. When that spoon got lost, me and my mother and all the siblings, imagine we had to look for that spoon because the guy would never eat with another spoon. As I go back, I think of those things. He would never drink from another glass. There were things that, and my mother would be like, just like me, looking for that thing too. Like, imagine what she had to go through, to look for the man's spoon because he didn't want to eat with different spoon. And she going through.
Right.
I mean, it's understandable that we as children, we go through that yelling and thing.
Yeah.
But imagine a mother being part of your looking for, kind of scary and thing. Those are things that some of us grew under. So as we go back and look at things now, we live in this modern society. We try to redefine the word submission, but it's hard, especially when you're from those traditional home. It becomes part of you. At one point, when I was growing up in my relationship, I kind of started exhibiting a lot of those characteristics that he had. That's why I couldn't really keep, a lot of, you had to be strong hearted to stay with me because I was more like dominating, like what I say was it, and what I wanted for you was what I bought, or things like that.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
those
what to
things,
wear, the clothes
yeah,
to
what to
wear.
wear. So those things impact people, but you may not know, but as you grow up and you got a societal change from Liberia to the United States, or maybe in any civilized culture or society, you look back and be like, oh, so this whole submission thing that we had to endure, that my mother had to endure, or my auntie or my sister that live with her and to do, is is completely different. Not to kind of like I know modern women, I know y'all have reshaped this whole submission thing in terms of feminism and thing, but yeah, we look at it from different angles now as compared to what it used to be when I was growing up. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think it's just because, to be honest, you know how people say you only teach us what you know, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't. When I sit back and think about like what you just said about your dad, right? May his
Yeah.
soul rest in peace. Like he only knew what he could give out. Like he was giving out what he knew. It was kind of like a traditional thing that's been passed on, like that initiation process. You as a man, this is how man's supposed to act. This is how man's supposed to do things. A woman's not supposed to do any of this. Your woman should never, ever, ever make. I remember when my husband and I, when we first got married, and I remember it was so funny. I remember he and my brother, my other brother, not Andrew. He and my other brother was sitting talking, and he was saying, "Oh yeah, when you do your taxes, what are you gonna do?" He said, "Oh no, no, no. When I do my taxes, it'll go to an account where my wife and I were gonna make the decision." And my brother was so shocked about that. He was like, "What? Don't I Felicia manage your money?"
Yeah.
And he was like, "No, no, 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 no. I mean, we're one household. Like our taxes is not when you do your tax, your money. No, it goes in one account. We seize it, both of us. We plan what to do with it." And he was just so shocked about that, that was happening. And he came to me. He said, "So why you not get to the people son like, hey, all your money just going to the account?" See, I said, "No, but it's not his money, it's the family money." And it just they don't understand that. But people, we only do what we know, right? What we are accustomed to. So the culture that and the tradition that he was used to, his goal was that he should be feared. When he entered the room, his authority should be feared. But it's not really that. When we really, it's not that, we pray to God for sound mind and understanding. As we're growing in and we're seeing these things are unfolding, we become, knowledgeable about knowing things like the Bible. That's why I said the Bible is so unique in a way. It's like every time you read it, you learn something new. And I don't know if it was intended that way, but it's just like every time you read a scripture, I guess whatever circumstances you're in that moment, it means something else to you in that moment. So people don't really know, and they can't really put out what they don't know. And that's why I feel like our churches are really supposed to be teaching us to really understand these things instead of us leaving it with assumption. Because sometimes, that we'll grab a scripture that we catch and read it instead of us using like a research, right? Like go
Yep.
back and find the reference, like Ephesians 5:21. It says submit one to another. But if somebody's giving you this scripture, they'll start from Ephesians 5:22, where it said, "Wives, submit to your own husband," right? And
Yep.
that's the one that they're taking and not reading in context what that meant. Like you have to read about 3 to 5 different scripture before you really understand the concept of what that one is really talking about, because it gives you a lot of context around it. And it talks about how uh, the man is the head of the household, but when you pray and you pray with your husband, you should be able to. The husband is like the body of the home, which Christ is the body of the church, right? So the
Yep.
man is like the body of. And now, when you start thinking about it, people who really don't understand will say, "Well, the man is the God of the house. You have to pray to him so your prayer can be answered." But that doesn't mean the wife doesn't have direct connection with God. It just, it just gets so confusing. And sometimes I really want to go to theology school to really learn everything else, but it's like, well, that's not my calling.
Yeah. Yeah. I got it.
But, I think once churches, parents I feel like parents now, we can't really, it's sad for me to say, but we can't really depend on the church or, like school to teach our children the way that they should go. But we have to depend on ourselves to be able to equip them for the world, because there's a lot of misleading things out there and they don't understand it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I don't know if Andrew want to come in, but let me just ask this last question. So,
Sorry,
Mm-hmm.
we also pro. Sorry, I got interrupted.
yeah, okay, brother, come in.
Yeah.
But well, Fee, you got. I don't know something. Something. I don't know. I'm too low. I know y'all can hear me, but I can hear you guys, but it's kind of low. I don't know if I go on and come back. I don't know why.
I'm hearing you. For me, I'm hearing you
Yeah,
lying.
Oh,
we're
okay.
hearing you really good. Maybe
That
it's
meant
maybe
that meant you ain't want
increase
for me
your
to leave.
volume.
Yeah, okay, delinquently, when I come back. Go ahead, my man.
Yeah, your points are valid. I thought to maybe I just been back and forth on some, but he said I want to hold the first one where you said what that the question, what if his decision goes contrary to your belief? How do you reconcile yourself? Now the point here is that I want to stress on before let's get it clear right here. You wouldn't want to be a Christian and married to a Muslim.
Well, people doing it.
People doing it, but like you talk about contradiction and contradiction to decision making. How do you reconcile? The husband say, "I'm the head of the home. The woman should submit. The woman's a Christian." The husband say, "No, you follow me, not go to my mouth." This is why both for you should understand each other, reconcile your differences, religious belief or whatever. If it is clear, to say, look, I know a couple or several couples that I know. The husband is in different church, the wife is in different church. But they say, hey, this is 5 Sunday in a week or in a month or 4 Sunday. 2 will go, 2 Sunday is for my own church, 2 Sunday, and they have been doing it for the past 15, 20 years.
Hmm.
But they understand each other. But no one, I want to make it clear. Bible is there, but no one's decision to supersede should override the other person. To say you must, like you putting gun on your back, you must do this one, you must do this one, you must do the one. I'm the man, this will happen. I'm the woman, it can be. That shouldn't work that way. So the reconciliation aspect inside should start from the part, because it will be difficult for you to reconcile if you don't start it from the beginning, and you just jump into it with no understanding from the beginning. And this is why before you get into any relationship, whether marital or just casual relationship or whatever, both of you should understand each other. Both of you should know this and do that. Because if with not that understanding, it will create serious problem. At the end of the day, if one person say no, I'm going so, the other person say no, I'm going so. No. If both of you don't do it, it will be different. So I thought to point that point on. Then he said, what do you think that the biblical concept of the submission of is often misunderstood or misinterpreted in traditional culture? Now it obvious. Even today, I went to a church, the pastor was talking about that thing. He was talking about understanding, belief. He was talking about tradition, the word of God. He said the word of God will not, people will not accept the word of God based on tradition. You will see some people will say, no, me, I can't do it. I can't do this one. I can't do the one. I can't accept this one. My father no used to do this one. Our tradition say we cannot eat this one. No. Contradicting what the Bible says.
Right.
So when it comes to culture, the other person will say, oh, me, do you know some people, they say, oh, they can't go to church. They're not Christian, they're not Muslim, they can't go to church. But I'm here, I can go to church. But my wife will say, no, I can't go to church. The husband will say, I can't go to church. So these are things you need to put on the table. Understand it first before you get into any future relationship that's going to establish. Because if you both of you don't draw a line, don't understand each other, you're going to create problem tomorrow for yourselves. Let me pause there. Anna just joined us. Anna, welcome and Happy New Year.
Hey
Hi
Anna,
guys,
welcome to the
happy
show.
new year. Welcome River Says Pro. Hi, it's
Yeah.
good to hear
Hi,
from you
Anna.
again. Stop noise.
Hi.
Sorry, I just realized that the show I forgot that we changed the time. and I
I
have a
know.
job, so I now work on the weekend, so it's hard.
Yeah, no,
Okay,
I know.
sorry.
You're
So
welcome.
what is the topic?
So we're talking about submission.
Go get your
Why
phone.
submitting? Yes, last night we did part one. Now we're on part two.
Mhm.
Part two, we discussed already when submission builds unity, when it becomes control.
Mhm.
And we're getting to part three, redefining submission for modern marriages.
Okay.
So right before we come in there, I just wanted to stress something that Andrew said, about, somebody marrying a Muslim. And then, but as a Christian, right? We are taught, if let's just say my husband was a Muslim, right? And I'm a Christian. As a Christian, I am taught to still submit to my husband. So if my husband says we're going to the mosque and that's it, I am supposed to go to it, because according to the Bible, by me submitting myself in doing and following God is me leading an example of what a Christian life is. And through that, and pray for him that God will somehow, you know, bring him closer to God. So the Bible also is not stupid when he said, don't be unequally yoked. He knows there's going to be all these problems, right? So instead of if you're going to do that, and your husband say, well, we don't eat this, and he's a Muslim, that's his home, you're supposed to submit to that and follow that. Because according to God's words, we are to submit to the head of the household. He is still the head of the household. That doesn't mean because he's not a Christian, he's not. You being a Christian, you are still to follow what that teaching is. So I just wanted to add that to that. But yeah, Anna, thank you for coming to the show. Um,
No problem.
we're actually pushing the time now. Let's get to part three, and then maybe you can give your input in that.
Okay.
So part three said redefining summation for modern marriages. So in this part three, we're asking these questions. Does submission still belong in modern marriages? Based on what we know what submission is, do you think in modern marriage we should still follow the doctrine and how God intended submission to be?
I think yes, if all roles are played the way they should be, it should be
Mm.
okay. Like, for example, if you have a spouse who is a true leader, like a true head of the household, where he provides, he makes sure your needs are met and everything, you should listen to what he does or what he says. You know, I think submission does not mean oppression. If someone is requesting you to submit, as long as they're treating you respectfully, treating you, they don't oppress you or abuse you in any form of way. I think you listening to their rules, of listening to their leadership instructions should be okay. Because it won't hurt you. It's only going to give you guys it will only put you guys in the same alignment when it comes to your relationship, and what the goals are for that particular relationship. So I don't think there's anything wrong with submission, as long as each party or each of the people involved are being treated respectfully, and are also being have the same communication, have the same sense of emotional intelligence. But I think in today's world, or in modern society, submission is not necessarily just yes ma, yes ma, yes ma, everything you say I do. It's about being unified, being able to come into a conclusion about a decision without hurting one another's feelings.
Absolutely. And I think I like the point that you hit on, not yes, man, yes, sir. That's where we were just discussing that according to the Bible and things like that, how it's intended for summation is not for someone to be authoritative over the partner, it's an equal partnership. because the Bible also stated before that scripture saying that wife should submit to their own husband. It also states that you should, men and women, husband and wife, submit to each other in reference to God. So submission is not, when we submit, it's not like we're doing it for our partner. We're also submitting to God, because God is the one who put that authority in that man to lead that home. So that's what it's intended to be. But as we see over time, a lot of people are misinformed and misinterpret what it means to fit their own goals and things like that. So I definitely agree. Whoever is watching, just know that submission is not a bad thing. And another point you made, Anna, that I really wanted some clarity on. So I know in modern society, basically you're saying that most women will submit if the man is playing his role, like when it comes to providing for them, and you said leading them in the right path. Is that what you meant? Okay.
Can you repeat that? I'm sorry.
It's okay. No, you said something about, summation, and I really wanted to understand where you were coming from with that. So when you say and I think that's where most people understand summation is. Summation. Basically, you're saying that summation, if the men can provide, protect, and do all those things, then summation should come easily. Is that what you mean?
Not necessarily. So
Okay.
sometimes you can be in a relationship where your spouse maybe doesn't have the money to provide and everything. When I mean submission, I'm talking about you letting your spouse be the head of the household. Like,
Right.
if you're a woman and you're the working person, he's home, you should still listen to, give him a chance to have a voice, give him a chance to guide you with your decision making skills, give him a chance to, to be himself. The end goal of submission is to make sure you guys are unified. You guys are making the same decisions. You guys are agreeing on the same things that are happening for your household, the common good of your household. So it doesn't mean that you will make the person feel bad because you're working and he doesn't work. You will make him feel bad. There's different roles, there's different things that entail being a provider, right? Not
Right.
necessarily just financially. It could also include a man that makes sure he protects you, a man that makes sure that your needs are met, whether emotionally, all those things are included. So sometimes you may not be able to provide for a man may not be able to provide for you financially, but his other aspects of him will show you that he's a leader. He's there to lead you and guide your family. So when I said that, I was just trying to say that there's nothing wrong with letting a man take control of how things or how the house should be run, but you also have to make sure that if he's leading the house, you need to give him a chance to do it and then see how he does it. Don't just assume that, oh, because he's not working, he's not going to give you guys good suggestions on how to care for your home. You know what I mean?
Right.
I
Right.
don't know if that made sense, but
You do. The reason I really wanted you to elaborate on that is because I think a lot of people really are misinformed. And they think that because they're the one making money, so they should control their partner, or because he's not working, so he can be a leader. Now I'm the leader because I'm the woman. But that does not change the whole setup of how God designed this. If you choose a man that's a bum and doesn't work, he's still going to lead your home according to God. He is the leader of the household. That does not change his authority. So regardless if you're working or he's not working, he's not bringing in funds and stuff, he still has authority over you to lead you. That's why I think it's very, very important for every man and woman to understand that if you're going to go into marriage, you need to go into it with the mindset of understanding that God designed this. If he's a drunkard, he's a smoker, he is still considered the head of the household. So you need to choose wisely and pay attention. So, So I'm sorry I'm laughing. Let's hear from Rivers Pro. What do you think?
I put my
Um,
camera on here on the bed, but anyway, I go.
we couldn't see anything anyways.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think see, I you ladies might not like this, but I think
Say the truth.
submission,
Say the truth.
yeah, submission in modern marriages. I don't know if it's positively applicable. I think it
Hmm.
advantages the women more than it does with the men. That's what I
Hmm.
think. I think
Can
in
What
you
do
this
you
era
elaborate
of
mean?
on that?
Yeah, what do you
uh
mean? What do you mean?
Can you
Elaborate a little
elaborate
bit.
on
I
that?
mean, like men are being more made to be submissive, whereas yeah,
Mm.
I think the responsibility is less on the woman now than it is. I think it's more on the man because every time when I look on social media, I see divorced people together for 6 months and the woman initiate. There's so much that is that's advantaging woman right now, and I think submission is one of it. And when you see some of those reasons why those women put in the divorce, it's just I'm like Jesus. So I think the men are being put under so much pressure. I think feminism or women, modern women have redefined, like I used that word previously, redefined submission to kind of advantage them, where the man, um, he is the one more to be put, I mean, to being put on a scrutiny. That's what I
I'm so
think.
I want you to elaborate on what you mean, like the men are submitting more. Like in what sense? Like do you mean from a financial standpoint?
Yeah, from financial standpoint, from social standpoint, like I think the women makes the rule now. Like you said, fee.
Mm.
Uh, let please, I'm gonna bring this up. So, like you just said, right? You said, I mean, somebody came from who was that? Somebody came from Liberia and found out that I think your husband said what? You controlling the something to that extent.
Oh, like my brother,
Okay,
when he
so
said when we did our taxes, he said
eh,
my husband said, "Well, we put in an account." It looks like he wanted to borrow some money. So my brother said, "No, I have to talk to my wife because when I do my taxes, everything go in that account." And that
exactly,
so
exactly. So you see how he feel right now, and not just him. If Anna brother, a tradition from Nigeria or somebody from like or I don't know if hobby
Cameroon.
dad, I don't know if your husband dad in America from Labrador. Even when you can't be like, what? When the years what? All my son money in his wife name, that for us, for them it's not culturally acceptable. Yeah, seriously. People will be like, what? What is that? Like, so now it will be something that is not, because that's not something that we accustomed to, right? Coming from, yeah, we used to maybe joint account and other thing. Like I told you the last time, I had a friend here myself, his wife in the banking sector. And every time we go out, like it was this one time we went out, when I was a bar boy doing all kinds of stuff, we went to the bar, and
Mhm.
I was surprised. He said, "Oh, his wife." He said, "Oh, she said I can use this amount." He has his debit card.
He was
I'm
just
telling you,
being
fee.
bad. Why he had to say she said? He could have said
Yeah.
again.
And when that guy went above that thing, I'm telling you, the woman blocked the account from home. She's a banker. She blocked the account. It was so disgrace. I'm telling you, we went to the
She's
bar.
controlling. She's
Yes.
controlling.
She 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 uh she yes.
Oh no, we lost Rivers Pro. Yeah, Rivers Pro. I need you to come back and elaborate on that. I think for ours we have a joint account. Um. Oh, sorry. I know. We're about to close soon, but it looks like this topic is getting a little bit juicy. The ending always gets the ending
But
always
what
gets
but
juicy.
what he's saying makes sense though.
You're
Like
getting
It
you're
I
getting
does.
juicy here. You're
it
getting
makes
you're
It
getting
sense.
gets
juicy
juicy.
here. We're going almost 2 hours. We plan to be
I
around
know.
30
We come
minutes.
and go. We come and go. Let Rivers just pro land. Let him land.
Yeah, yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so when we went to that bar, it was one of the top club here in Milwaukee. We big boys, we in there. And the next thing, like, I want to swap the card, bang. I'm
The
like,
time not working.
it's not working. Fee, the woman, I'm telling you, it was so. I have never,
No, it
being
seems
from
horrible.
Africa. Yeah, I never expected. I'm like, what? And I had to use my card, with all the purchases and other things. We were just, so, and, it kind of play on my mind. I'm like, wow, is that a kind of culture? You limit the man to $50 or $100 a night when he goes over that. So you see how that submit, and people will call it submission. So right there, if she is
I
running the
think that
show,
it's
you
more
see.
of, maybe their finance, maybe her husband is used to succumbing to societal pressure and they're financially not doing well. The woman blocking the account was not nice because it embarrassed him in front of his friends, but I'm pretty sure it was because maybe they're really short on funds and the husband probably wanted to impress you guys and went
Hmm.
overboard about the budget. So I think that sometimes it's not necessary that people are trying to, they're using that like we don't know what the situation was, but it
Maybe he's used to. He's one of those that
again
splurge. That splurge a lot.
Yeah,
But no,
yeah,
that
but
was so
Mhm.
embarrassing.
yeah, it was it was, guys. And so I began to I began to look at a lot of, and not just the situation, other things that I have noticed here in the United States, as far as when it comes to husband and wife. I believe, I mean, I could be wrong, but from my observation, or maybe just the people that I have come across, I noticed a lot of men in relationship, their level of submission, is kind of like, it seems more like, I'm trying to find a right word for it. It seems more like something that um counterproductive to
Maybe
submission.
fear. Did you say
Yeah,
fear?
yeah, that
Yeah,
kind of fear, honor,
because they
like.
feel.
Yeah, they look, and I'm looking at it like, that's why I was looking at the statistic. And sorry, guys, lady, I must say it, but they say for the next 10 to 20 years, the divorce rate will be so low that men. I was just looking at a few celebrities. They say they're not even getting married. Is it? Is it?
Yeah, and people
So
will not get married anymore.
yeah,
Marriage is
because
not a thing anymore.
exactly, because men feel now that there's so much pressure on them. There's so much pressure on them as far as submission, as far as other aspect of, to their relationship. So they don't see the need anymore. They prefer. It's not just wealth. A lot of people got money. They still need a relationship. But when you look at how things going in their life, they're like, well, I was better off single. Like this one guy, I think a basketballer, the dude said he was better single. He got married. Situation just got worse.
Hmm.
So I think again, I think the redefinition of submission um in modern society, I think it it favors the women more than,
Hmm.
like I said, I could be wrong. It favors the women more than the men. And fee situation, fee. I mean, look, y'all is just an isolation. I'm just saying something, but
No, no,
but
no, I agree.
yeah, but
The thing
Anna
is, we
knows
have
that.
a joint account. We have
Yeah.
a joint account that all our funds go to.
Mhm.
And, everybody can see that. But I would not be sitting up to go my husband out and be looking at the account and be blocking things. Oh, my God. That's
Yeah, she
crazy.
did that, and these are white people. Sorry, guys, I'm not. I didn't mean to mention color. Yeah, he's my white
Yeah.
friend. We work together, and his wife, she's a bank that they are respectable people, and I was shocked. I was out, maybe
No,
because
that's
I
too
haven't.
controlling. That's
Yeah, it
controlling.
was too, and then the guy was telling me when he came, guys, before we could even leave. He got in the car. He said he called his wife name. She said, "Oh, Mary." Oh, Mary said I can use this amount. I'm looking at him like, yeah,
Why
and I'm
is
like,
he
what the
telling
hell?
you that what she said?
Yeah.
See, that's another thing too. Like, why are you? That's something you guys both. So let me answer this really quickly.
Mhm.
I'm just annoyed with her, and I'm annoyed with him too. So I feel like in marriages, people don't protect each other, right?
Yeah.
Nowadays, people just are just out here doing whatever and saying whatever. Your goal is you're supposed to protect each other, but be honest too about things, right?
Mhm.
I agree with you. I can see where you're coming from, that men are, afraid these days. One thing or the other, I think once children are involved, they even make it worse. Men
Mhm.
become even more submissive because they're afraid you're going to put them on child support, try to
Yep.
screw in their entire life. So I
Mhm.
think like the odds are against them. So they just like try to just play dumb dumb and
Mhm.
go with the flow. But I feel like another problem is it comes from the men and the woman both, because people are not really sitting down and having real conversation. I feel like people come up with an idea and just say, yeah, that would be great, let's do that. People don't sit and really look at things from different angles and come up with a decision. And that's where a lot of problems are coming from. Like nobody want to read, nobody want to research. Like most men, I will tell you, and I've learned this, even friends, guys, friends that I know, when they ask you to do something, like help them out, right? They just, let's just say they just came to the US. They'll say, well, you know that more. You know more about this, you go do it. And for me, when I try to help anybody, I tell you, I will give you just enough. I want you to go on the internet and I want you to take time and read it. Don't just take what I'm telling you as the answer to all, because I might not be telling you everything. So, people, I feel like sometimes men are very lazy in a relationship, that they want the woman to do everything, which means if you're moving somewhere, they want the woman to find out the crime rate. But you're the head of the house, so you're supposed to protect it, you know, right?
Yep.
Which I feel like you should be trying to find out. No, honey, that crime rate. No, we're not moving in this neighborhood. No, we're not. I'm not saying the woman can do it, but because that is your ultimate goal and your role in that relationship is to make sure your family is safe. You need to make sure you're fully aware about everything that's going on, because she's just gonna find out just enough because she has so much to do. But it's good when two people are looking into it. I think they're being more detrimental to themselves when it comes to this whole submission. I think women, because women are making more money, it's becoming more transactional. And I think men just feel like, well, if she makes more and I'm just making just the amount, what saying do I have? Because she's gonna come back and put it in your face. Which women, even if you make gazillions of dollars and your husband make $2, that doesn't change his role in the sight of God. If you're a Christian woman, he still have authority. He can tell you how to run that money. But women will come out and say, you can't tell me what to do. You know, like I make more money than you. Why are you talking to me? So I just feel like people are just misinformed. They don't really understand their role. Each person don't understand their role, especially the ones that stand in front of people and say, I am a Christian woman. I believe in Jesus Christ and his
Yep.
teaching. But you believe in it, but yet you talk to your husband this way. You treat him that way. Like I'm just annoyed for that man. Like I would be so mad if me, I'm out and I'm trying to purchase something and the car is not working because you block it. What?
Yeah.
Like what's wrong with you? The whole idea of having a joint account and you guys are managing funds, you should have somewhere in your budget for entertainment. And why is he having to beg you for the money? The money is for you to use. Yeah, he shouldn't splurge. I'm not encouraging splurging, but you pretty much knew he was going out. So what if he got stranded out? He needed to buy gas because he hit the budget, so he can buy it. Like I just think people need to be practical. They're not really sitting down and having conversation and laying boundaries. Like, yeah, we have this budget, but if he has enough to go out, you should know their emergency can happen while he's out. So there should be a room that there's a wiggle room that you can use that. It's not just straight. And that's something like this year, I think if I can share. So my husband and I, we've been doing our budget, like what we spend, we'll put it in our spreadsheet and things like that, right? Every little dime we spend, we put it in there to really see where our money is going. So this year, the budget, when we updated it and I had the spreadsheet to put it in, my husband goal is this year we should just save, save, save. But then I'm reminding him, well, we can just sip. We have things we have to pay for. Those are things that are non-negotiable. Like you literally need to buy your kids' wives. You need to buy them. You can't say, well, we have to manage on that. No, because then if you go buy the cheapest one, you're running into them getting rashes of things that would, like not work for them. It's good to look for, so those things, people are not really sitting down and really having conversation. They're talking about things in passing and expecting it to work. But I agree with you. I can see where you're coming from. I think most marriages are based on transaction, and it's not that way. I don't think it should be based like that because
And the guy fee before Anna coming, and the thing is,
Mhm,
I don't want to be specific about him
mhm,
because his situation is just one. I remember, like, even for me, you see, when I'm going out, when I'm
mhm.
when I'm the work is different. When I'm, not work, but when I'm home, when I'm going out, oh girl, I like to go. I like to go. Yeah, I like to wear. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't know who you're gonna meet out there. I like to be
Yeah.
not, yeah, not flashy, but decent, because you don't know, you can meet any of those Liberian
Hey,
people.
we buy some
Yeah.
people they don't gotta look good.
Yeah, like when people go say that, "Oh man, I saw him somewhere, you see him looking so." But then every time, like, I noticed we'll be going out, because the places we used to go was I used to go to, like some of those nice area, So
Yeah.
I get a shirt, and he'll be like, I say, hey, because he will wear some of these gym shoes, and I'll be like, because some of those places they don't
Listen,
allow,
what
and
are
I'll
you
be like,
wearing?
yeah, I'll be like, you gonna get a pair of shoes. Oh, she's not gonna allow. That's too much. And somebody, I said, what? And I remember we went to this one place. I'm telling you, it was sad, but it was we went to this one place. They couldn't allow like gym shoes. It was like you gotta be shoes, dress. So it was one of the nice little, African American bar. Yeah, they had a little program. We went there, and they couldn't let him in. I'm seriously, Fee, I was so embarrassed. I had to come my little short said there, getting mad with the people, trying to throw that race, trying to raise bit. Oh, wait, because well, just to find a way to scare the people. But still, man, the other guy called me aside. He said, "Bro, look at you and look at him, man." He said, "We got a strict." He said, "We got a dress code. We got a rule here. It ain't got nothing to do with color, nothing, man. Look." So we just entering and abandoning the whole thing. We had to go somewhere just to. So I'm looking at it like,
You
wow,
miss
yeah,
her whole
seriously,
climate.
yeah, seriously, it had me a little bit like, oh wow. So I think that's how some people go through a lot. Like I said, his case is just one, but I think people go through a
Yeah,
lot
I
of those
mean,
things.
I don't know if they're still together, but I can promise you, I don't think they're lasting together. I'm just saying, I'm putting devil on that thing, but I don't think they will last long. Because at
I know.
some point,
See,
at
where
some
people,
point,
the
hmm?
people met
Let,
when they
let,
were
let, let, let me make it clear.
they put men
Let
when
me
they were
make it
in
clear.
high school, so the people
Hmm.
are sure they stay
If you
together.
rush
Yeah,
into
yeah.
2026 to pay your due in 2026, good. But remember,
Huh?
I will capture it as 2025 due you owe or arrear. 2026, you are not paying anything yet. I'll be clear with that one. So
Who
you
that guy
pay.
What?
talking to?
We are now waiving. We are now waiving due.
What
We
are
are.
you talking about?
I think I met on different line.
What my brother saying? Oh, he on another.
Mama, start interrupting our show, man. Yeah, you already partial. Sophie, Anna want to come. You got that's the last point.
Well, the
Three.
last one is the submission. Well, we already covered that.
Mm.
Um, I think we look at Ephesians 5:22-23. It says, alongside the responsibility placed on husband to love sacrificially, not rule. So basically, men are not to rule over people, but they should sacrifice. And we also explore whether commitment, partnership, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I think that was it. I think the final challenge for our listener is submission about control, or is it about choosing unity without losing your voice? I think it's choosing unity without losing your voice.
And
That was the
that was the
last.
same thing I said too, because
So
Yeah,
you're able to be yourself and not feel like
yeah.
you're being oppressed. Then
Right, right. That's it. That's what it's about. Love, unity. But people need to understand. Submission is not I can clean, cook, wash your clothes,
Yep.
do X, Y, and Z. That's not what submission is. Submission is we're equally yoked. I listen to you. I trust your authority to guide us and lead me in the right path. And at the same token, you trust my input if I give to whatever it is you're doing.
So
Please.
so so let me ask the two
Mhm.
ladies. Fee said something that
Mhm.
she and hubby sit together and kind of run a lot of their affair, which is great. So there are women on the other hand who you know uh love the men to take charge, right, guys? So
Mhm.
say for example, they love the men to like you were saying, Fee, you say, well, like for example, we move into a place that is maybe of security rates or crime. The men should, I mean, the men should do the search, right? So will you guys prefer a man who will make the decision first and then invite you to it, or will you like, because some, you know, again, some women love the men. I know some, yeah, like mine. She would be like, you the man, you can't, take the how they call it, take the first step, take
Yeah.
the out, yeah. So, will you rather a man who make the decision and say, look, fee, hubby would say, fee, yeah, this is how much this is the car we're getting. This is how much this car costs. This is what we're gonna get, and then forward it to you. Or will you rather when you both of you guys sit down and decide on what car, or will you rather have him take the stand and then submit it to you, and then for you to approve it? Which will you prefer?
Anna, do you want to go?
Yeah, I can go first.
Go
Mm-hmm.
ahead.
I personally would prefer for him to initiate, but there's a but. It depends on what, to be honest. If it concerns like something like where I want to stay, I would want him to, for us to do it together, right?
Okay.
Like, but if he says, okay, it's time to move, that decision of it's time to move, I want him to bring it up. But when it comes to choosing the house, I want to be like involved, like hands on, like, okay, I don't like it because of this, and that. So we're doing it together rather than him telling me, okay, this is a house I found. Do you like
Okay.
it? I don't want that. I want to be involved throughout every process. So my answer is it depends on the situation and what. If it concerns like household items or household decisions, yes. If it's a car that I'm not really good with cars, I want him to say, "Oh, I found some cars I would like you to pick. Give me options, not just bring one thing and say, here, have it." You know what I mean? Give me options and say, "Okay, look at this one, look at this one. Which one do you like? This is one of these are the ones I want to get for you."
I just, and if you were coming, I just thought on something crazy, right? And I say, imagine he already showed you the address of the house. You're sitting watching it. You're sitting watching the news. Said there was a shooting right in that neighborhood. And I would be like, what?
Yep.
That's the
And
place you
then
for.
and that's my fear because even though you've done your research, it may be the best looking house to you, but I'll have something that will make me not want to have the house.
Right.
Yeah,
So
I
I
yeah.
don't know
agree.
if I answered your question.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah. That's great.
Okay.
Great answer.
So
Yeah.
that's a good one though. You know, the one with the shit. You know, I've literally watched a movie and seen that. Like the man decided to buy something. Next thing you know, when they look outside was a ring of people like running around.
I have a friend. Her husband bought her a push gift. He called her. He was at the dealership. Called her and said, I'm thinking about getting this car." And then the wife said, "Oh, okay. But I prefer this other one, right?"
Mhm.
As he called her and said he was at the dealership, he had already paid for the car that she didn't like, and then called her and said, "And this is a brand new car too." He said, "Oh, this is I was thinking of getting this car for you since you're about to have the baby." She was like, "Okay, but I prefer this one," and then sent a picture of the one she likes, and then he still drove home with the one he had paid
Oh, wow.
Because he
Yes,
already paid for the other one.
yes, because he didn't know that she would not like it since she didn't have a car
Oh,
before. So he brought the car home. She never even rode in the car. He ended up
oh,
trading his own car in and then getting her the one that she wanted and then kept the one that he had paid for. It was so funny. Every
See,
time we
oh.
talk
maybe
about
I
that, we
should
laugh about it.
maybe I should do some tips on here for these men. Make sure you do like these funny online. So, oh, this is a cute car, right? And I like if you have a dream car where you like this one, do all that. Women always talk, they'll show you. So you don't have to go do double payment.
Yeah, I
Mhm.
know.
Yeah.
So
But to answer
the rule of
uh-huh.
thumb is to always remember that your wife's opinion matters, because imagine you doing all these things and she's not happy. They say a way to a man's heart is through his stomach, right? And then way to a happy woman
Hmm.
or happy home is a happy wife, something like that. So if your wife is not happy, to be honest, your home is not happy or your home
That's
is
true.
not
That's
peaceful.
true.
So your goal is to always make sure that your wife's input is included in every decision that you make. If she's happy, a lot of things within your life will flourish. That's just,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Well, for me, um, if you had asked me this question 4 years ago, I said absolutely not. Like, no, I need to be part of it. I
Mm,
think over time you learn your partner and you start to understand like what they like, what they don't like. So at this very moment, if my husband was to purchase a vehicle, he knows all the cars that I like. So I wouldn't mind. He can buy the car and bring it. But when it comes to the home,
mm-hmm.
huh? I mean, I feel like he knows what I want because I always tell him like my vision and what I like in a home and things like that. But I think he himself would be even scared to buy a house without me. He'll be very scared to buy a house without me because he can say you can want to read all the fine print before.
Yeah.
So when it comes to the home, again, I agree with Anna. It depends on things. Like I trust his judgment on a lot of things. When it comes to our home, I think I trust his judgment, but there are features in the home and things like that that I like
Okay.
that he might not quite get, and then he might have to pull money from somewhere for us to renovate.
Okay.
So I think it would be in his best interest to make sure he kind of like show me a couple of those if you want to buy it behind me. Show
Mm-hmm.
me some things, just being funny and saying, "Hey, what do you think?" It's now, you know. I hope one day we can get this. Just be sneaky with it, and
Okay.
then you kind of like know where your partner like you get their input, but you don't get their input right there and then. It's like a surprise thing. But I would say I would trust him with a lot of things. It just depends on what it is. It depends on like car. Yeah, buy me a car. If it's a decision on travel, like vacation, some men will decide like, hey, I bought this and bought that. I don't mind. A lot of things I don't mind. But when it comes to the home, I do.
But
I
so
really
so 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 what's about I know you were coming. What
do.
so what's about decoration, guys? Because recently we had like a little back and forth about painting. I told you, like I said, I'm not into color.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just yeah. So yeah. Oh,
You
the
just have
kitchen
to
gotta
deal
be
with it if you
yeah.
will
The
get for
kitchen,
the
the kitchen. I had a woman, that's how I want it and all the. So when it comes to decoration, guys, like okay, for example. First, okay, so you gotta move in a place because for me,
Mhm,
I like to visualize where the couch would be, where the
mhm.
TV. I'm a kind of person. I don't know for some reason I I'm picky when it comes to the structure of my living room. The way I want things to be. If there's a fireplace, how I want things to be positioned. But
Mhm.
women, she might have a whole different idea. This guy. So when it comes to those kinds of decoration and thing, who do you think? I mean, do you trust hobby to look at fish shaking your hair already?
You already know I'm on the woman side. I didn't want you to finish that. No, that's her house. You just
uh,
live there.
so we can't do nothing. We can't even face the place more, sir.
You can visit, but she made a decision. You know why? Because when
Uh,
people come to your home, right,
mm-hmm.
they are not going to say we went to River Pro house. They are going to say we went to your wife's house.
That's true.
And that is her domain. That's her area. That's where God has made her to make that home.
That's
She
true.
might ask you for the color, but everything is her vision. She has a vision of how it's supposed to look. And you just have to give up because my husband had to give up on this one plenty of time. He had to give up. And good thing about it, he said, I already lazy, just do it. I don't care. So I didn't even want you to even finish. It's her home. That's her domain. God had given her that vision on how to make that home look. You are just there to come in and out and go. Because anybody enter that home, her name goes, not
That's
you.
true. That's
So
true.
if you hang that picture, somebody will say, the woman I know, I took her away. Why she did that? So
Yeah, that's
please
true.
don't carry my sister-in-law by me. Yeah, just leave her alone. Do her thing.
All right.
Leave it with her.
Yeah.
Tell her I'm here rooting for her.
Yeah. So I will let her know.
All right, guys.
Yeah, we're about to close now. Let's everybody give their one or two things. Let's close because it look like our co ready to go sleep.
Let me give my input and then I would leave because I have to put my kids to bed.
All right, go ahead.
I definitely think that submission does not mean oppression or basically doing the house chores or whatever. I think when we talk about submission, it just means allowing your husband or your significant other to lead and make decisions or help you or work with you to make decisions that will affect your home or the progress of your home. When we talk about submission in modern days, we want to consider working together. So, whether you're supporting your husband's financially, emotionally, physically, that is part of being submissive, like giving him that support and not necessarily imposing on him. So, I want to say that it's not a bad thing to be submissive. However, I think that it should be a peaceful kind of situation where you're not feeling like your voice is not heard.
Right.
With that being said, enjoy working with your spouse, enjoy doing it because it's rewarding when you see your spouse being happy and less tension in your relationship. Your overall satisfaction is good. So that's all I would say. Thank you. Thank you guys for continuing to watch the show, and we look forward to seeing you guys next weekend.
Awesome. Thank
Thank
you
you,
so
Anna.
much. Thank you. Our co-host, you
Thank
ready
you
to
to
leave?
Riverfest Pro. Thank you, Miss Fee. Thank you, Mr. Andrew. It's very nice seeing you again, Riverfest Pro. We really
Yeah.
missed you on the show.
Thank you, Anna. Thank you very much.
Yeah, welcome. Bye bye.
Bye.
Our co-host over there look like he's taking a lot of course.
Yeah, the man that the new Canadian, the man running for prime minister.
You want to get your closing quote, Mr.
You want
Co-host?
go or you want me go?
You can go ahead. Either one of you guys.
So
Yeah,
so
that man are ready. That
yeah,
man are
so
ready.
so so that's a great topic. Thanks, Fee. Always. Yesterday topic was great. I was just at work, that's all. But it was great. Submission um is very important in a relationship. You know, submission is not an act of slavery or enslavement. Things things should be mutually coordinated in a home. Um, it makes the home to thrive. You know, sometimes the way you run your home, people think that you are wealthy couples or you are not. You know, because the way you run you handle your finances, the way you take care of your children, the way your house is, people there are people who watch, who observe. They don't say it out there, but the way you run your own, it's when they see that level of unity, that level of cooperation, they see how your home, they're like, oh wow, look at those people. The rich people, no, they're not rich, they are just an ordinary family. But the way they conduct their life, you don't see them throwing chair at each other, throwing the kitchen knife at each other. And people gotta hide a knife every time there's a little confusion in their house. So it's important, and for women or men, not to invalidate their man. Go make your man to feel like he's not, recently I was just putting my closing, a friend from the post office, because I usually check my mailbox. I got a little mailbox at the post office too. So her, this guy, she said, oh, he need a job, he hasn't had a job. So I said, okay, I will look. Oh, that's another branch of my job, right? I was, and I got him in, but she told me that was her brother though. She said that was her brother, but I was actually her boyfriend. So I don't know why she did it seriously, because it's not like, so I worked now the other guy from the job, because I recommended another guy. He just started it. So we were talking. Him and so I said, "Oh, we were talking. How you like it?" Blah blah blah. And then he said, "Oh yeah." Then he brought another guy. He said, "Yeah, I don't know why he got fired from his job. He didn't he's lazy. He just want to be by his girl. So I'm like, what? He's as a So he called me. I said, "Oh, I thought that was." She said, "No, that's not. That's not." Oh, wow. So I'm thinking,
I
I'm
don't
like,
know
"But
girl
why?
too until
What?"
you found
Yeah,
work.
I said, "Why she?" I said, "It's not like, yeah." First, I said, "Why she?"
Until you found work.
I said, "Why she did it?" Why I was gonna get, still recommend. Not like I was talking to her for anything. I just go there, grab my milk. She didn't want to always try to engage, try to talk about, my how, because she really wanted a job for this guy. So it brings a, that's even the other guy felt bad. He said, "Well, maybe I don't know. Did you?" I said, "No, I don't. I'm not that kind of person." So I would see it as invalid. Like I don't know. I don't know if you might have an idea why she did it. Like is that invalidation? Like you don't think it's worth, like she seriously. And when I found out, I'm looking like, wow, because I really respected her. She's a she work at the post office, a respectable woman, the way I see her, I don't know her personally. But then I was kind of like shocked, and I'm like, why was she? I mean, why can't you just say the truth? I was still seriously. So I think those are some of the things. And the other guy, these people talk. He would start talking. Oh yeah, he would take the car, and he don't want to work, and he's just home, and blah 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 blah. That's all he wanted. I'm like, oh, then I started finding out more things. That, oh wow, so that's how they are. Yeah, but those are
Yeah.
not healthy, So that's just my closing. And we are not counselors for those who are our followers. We just, these are experiences that we're sharing, things that we have experienced, and things that happen in our day-to-day life. We're not, anything that is heard yet should not be used for practical purpose or purposes. We are just, giving our own view and opinion. So thank you very much for having me again, Fee. Andrew, I will tell what the guy named, what's his name,
Jimmy.
Jimmy got to run against you. I will put a candidate against you. I'm telling you. Okay, be there, be waving your hand at that. Okay, Pete, thank you.
All right. Thank you so much. Like what you were saying about that lady and stuff. The thing is, people don't protect each other in relationship anymore. Like people don't really genuinely have loyalty. Like you should have loyalty to each other. And if someone look bad, if you think sharing that, you look even worse than them because like that's your partner. That's someone you call your husband. So when I say protect, I mean like hide. Someone abusing you, hiding it. But like, be careful with the things you say about someone because I'm pretty sure there's more to that than the person just not wanting to work and stuff.
Hmm.
It just people just I don't know. I feel like America bring a different side out of people.
Yep.
Like it just made everybody frustrated. But we pray that God continue to help each and every one of us because you should be able to solve your problem at home and just not lash out to people. Have self control and just know how to handle certain situations. Like I see on the internet now, all they are all like when people always bringing their problem outside, but yet complaining about privacy. Like the internet, you put what you want out there. Like you're in charge. You're in control of what you can put out there. You get to be the narrator of your own story. But yeah, anyways, I hope people are okay. But tonight, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. Like River Cesperal said, this is our own opinion. You are free to make your own decision how you want to run your life. We're just here to share our thoughts on these things that are happening. So if you find it useful, use it at your own discretion. If you don't think it's useful, hey, ask for it. But like this topic started yesterday and Jimmy laid it out. And I wish he was on. Like he said, sorry, he got tied up, he couldn't come on. But we miss him. We say thank you for yesterday. As we close today, I want to say thank you to um River says, bro, you always know how to like get the depth of of these topics. Like you know how to. I don't know. You're really. Have you ever thought? Are you a professor? I just meant to ask that.
No, I was doing taking classes uh now, but I've been doing similar things like this. So taking
Okay.
classes in psychology. So I have gained a lot of knowledge from it, and I also work in a lot of social work environments. So I
Mhm.
think that experience with interacting with people's social issues, and things that affect people in society, because I deal with a lot of cases. So I think that's just where it comes from. Uh,
Nice. I mean, you're really good at it. I mean, you should think about teaching it later on. You know, teach at the university.
yeah,
People are really, like you'd be a really good teacher, honestly,
yeah. Thank you
because
too.
you really know how to like, I don't know, get the question and get people mind to really go like, okay, let me think about this, you
Yeah,
know.
thank you.
So
Thank you
yeah,
very
you're
much.
welcome. Thank you. I
You're welcome.
really like when we have these topics. I'll be looking to make sure you come on because I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, oh yeah, yeah.
Professor know how to get us to really
I
dig deep.
know. Yeah, I saw your first. I know you went up a little bit. I said we are coming back. I just got back, so
Yeah,
I'm trying to keep up.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So now we're trying to do it early, so that
Okay.
way, because people be getting tired and work.
So what time is it at your end there, so I can kind of get there? Cause right now it's 8:25.
Oh, it's 9:25 right now.
Also,
So
you are
we
hour
start.
ahead.
Yeah, we start
Okay.
about 7. I try to first I wanted to do 6, but 6 we're pushing it because I have to get the kids ready. So
Okay.
I'm like 7. 7 is good because
Okay.
then they're already settled in. They're going to bed. Dad can pray with them, and then I do this show really quick.
Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Okay.
in closing, I just wanted to add these few things for us to go with. Submission is never meant to erase a voice or silence, pain, or excuse control. Scripture does not contradict itself when we read. I wrote this thing, so you guys, I'm going to read from it. When we read it fully, we see a call for mutual honor, sacrifice, and love and shared responsibility. So, submission without love becomes domination. Tradition without accountability becomes oppression. And commitment grounded in respect and reference for God creates unity, not fear. So I want everybody to know that marriage was designed as a partnership by God and not a power struggle. Leadership in marriage should look more like service than authority. So like we know the Bible says if we can whoever can become a servant can be the leader. I'm not saying that the right way, but something along that line. more like listening than commanding. So the real question is in who submits more, is who loves better, who serves faithfully, and who protects the dignity of the others. So submission is about protecting each other's dignity and things like that. So with closing, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you guys. Next time you hear the word submit, modern women, don't think you gotta go clean and cook and then men just want you to be pregnant barefoot and walking. No. Because I feel like that's what everybody think when you hear them say, no, they just want us to be cooking, cleaning, and be pregnant barefoot and walking. No, that's not submission. Please learn what it is. Submission is a good thing. It's not a bad thing.
Why if they accepted those fees? Sorry for because I was
Then
watching.
it's fine.
Yeah, I
Then
was
it's
watching this
okay.
one clip. Watching this one clip. This one lady, she said something to the effect that well, something she said, well, if I got a man who can work, I just want to be home and make babies. Something she said, it was like a little. I'm looking at, oh wow, they got people like that. So
They do. They do. People still believe in that. But you know, it's a catch 22. They say that, and then as soon as they get it, then it become a problem. Then they file for divorce. Because then they
okay,
start getting emotional. We live in a world where I feel like a lot of people have mental issues. Like
yep, yep,
they don't fully understand what they want. It sounds good because they don't have to work. Some of them don't want to work at all. They just want to be there and enjoy. And some people want to work, but then they still want to be like, I don't know. Everybody's just confused. But for me, like, even though I like working and I had the opportunity for the past few months to just sit away from work and recoup, now I went back to work like a month now. I like working.
also, you got. I know the last time you were taking a break from the
Yeah,
other job, so you got
I
another
went
one.
back.
You went back to the old place.
It's my
Oh,
same company. My company, like, we always have contract to different
oh,
hospitals.
okay, okay, okay,
So times comes, I just, I took a break from that role at that hospital. That hospital was nuts. It was crazy. There was
yeah,
so much going on. And then I have family stuff to take care of. So I was like, I need to take a break. But I took a break longer than I wanted to.
okay.
So, but I just finally got back to work, and God has a way of working things out. I ended
That's
up to
true.
a hospital that I always wanted to be at. So
Okay,
I'm super
yeah,
excited for that.
that's great.
But
Thank
now
God.
I work at nights because
Oh,
the kids' schedule, we had to change the whole thing. So it's crazy, but I'm here.
yeah. Sometimes changes,
Yeah. I
So
have to
yeah,
make the
sometimes you got to
sacrifice.
make the necessary. That's why I tell people in life. I was the last time I was preaching. Like I told them, sometimes it's not about you. You
Yeah.
some of these adjustments we make for the kids. You have
Oh,
to. You can't say, like my job. A lot of time people be like, "Oh, why you can come on this first shift?" Everybody, I tell them everything I do. I do the
yeah.
calculation based on my family. It's not what y'all want. Just because you want me to come on your shift don't mean no. I have to know when my boy getting ready for school. Sometimes I know he will sleep and I gotta be there. A lot of things I gotta adjust. It's based on my family thing, it's not because you want me there. No, that's why I always tell them, why you everybody on? I say I don't want to. I want what is good for my family. That's what I do. I'm not doing
Yeah.
it because just because you want me on your shift. That's why I always tell them. I say
Yeah.
you like it, you can climb on top of Mount Everest and yell my name. I don't even care. Oh yeah, I tell them every day. There's one supervisor always behind me. Oh, we need you on the ship. Oh, I like it. I said, I am not coming on. That's a third ship. I am not coming there. I
Mhm.
said, because it will mess up my whole program, with my kids, getting them ready for school and waiting for the
Yeah.
bus and all that thing. So I can't. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't, my mom told me at some point you guys gonna have to make a whole lot of sacrifices. I didn't understand it till now. That's a lot of sacrifice because I never ever liked night shifts.
Yeah.
But I'm adjusting and it's a
You gotta
sacrifice I have
sleep.
to
Fee,
do.
just sleep. The secret is I used to be on
Yeah.
the the
Mhm.
few times between 12-hour shift from 2 to 2.
Woo.
It ain't be easy, but sometimes when I come, I force myself. Yeah, I've been taking, which is not good. I've been taking NyQuils, the sleep one.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah,
no, don't do it. Your body get used to it.
yeah, Fee, I'm telling you, sometimes I can't just. Sometimes I look at zombie when I'm at that job, especially when I don't sleep for real. All my eye, I already skinny like that. All my eyes start sinking in. Yeah, so sometimes
That's
body,
me.
yeah, body pill and just go how am I saying in the basement and sleep and then yeah. So yeah, you just need a lot of rest. That's all.
Yeah, me, the kids, they can't leave me
Oh,
alone.
tell me about it.
But the good thing with mom, I'm off on the weekend.
Okay,
So Monday through Friday, I'm like, let me just get through it. Let me
yeah,
just get through it. That's why you see I'm not online too much the few days.
okay, yeah.
My
All
sister
right.
and I said, oh, you back to business. Come back online, be sharing your Christmas video.
All right, yeah. Okay.
During the weekdays, I'm a zombie. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
oh
I'm just
yeah.
like,
Yeah. Yep.
I'm frustrated. I
It's a
can't. I
whole
was like, I'm not
adjustment.
used to this.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a
but I
whole
think my body is getting. I'm not a coffee person, but when it hit 3 a.m., I be asking my colleagues, I said, how y'all been doing this? This is crazy. When
yeah,
it hit 3 o'clock, Professor Bro,
yeah,
3 a.m.,
yeah,
3 a.m. is when I
yeah,
want to go. I'll be saying all my prayer, Jesus help me.
yeah,
Help me,
yeah.
help me, help me. But when I come on, hustle,
For me, I'm a coffee person though.
I never like coffee, but now I drink coffee.
Yeah,
Oh, coffee help me.
my own
At home,
I just don't do
mhm,
sugar, that's all. I'm a more like a cream. I try to watch my sugar level and things. So
yeah.
yeah, I just do cream. I just put enough cream. And for some reason, Fee, the coffee at my job, because we got a vending machine. For some reason, it worked more than the one I fix. When I make coffee at home, I don't know, but the one over there, because I usually, especially when I'm at night, I usually take
Yeah.
mine and it gets me going until, but I don't want to take it too much because then when you come home, you can't sleep.
I
So you
know.
have to be
That's
able to
me then.
balance it. Yeah,
You can win. I said tomorrow I'm getting myself gear up. I come and go sleep.
yeah,
Then when I get them to school in the morning, I'm gonna sleep
yeah.
and
Just
try
sleep.
to prepare myself. But Monday through Wednesday, I'm good. But by the time it hit Thursday, oh my god, it's like what? My husband be looking at me and say, "You still alive? You okay?"
I know, man. I know. It's not
He's like,
easy.
"You okay?" But right now, only me can really do that schedule because he said, "Oh, I feel so bad. Maybe I should do it." I said, "It's okay. You've been at your job. Just leave it. It's okay. Only me can do this
Yeah.
right now. I'll take one for the team."
And the horse help, they ain't cheap in this country. That's another thing.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you, school, the kids' school, all that, but everything, God will help us one
Yeah,
day.
go find a way. Maybe hopefully.
Yeah.
But you can transition after a while. Like my job, you can transition if there's an opening. For me, I mean, there being first shift and thing, I can do it. I can take it. I got seniority more than the rest of the people. But I can't do it because of my family schedule. But my job, you can transition after a while. You can move on to second. You can move on to first. So you don't have to be permanent wherever they send you. It's just a big something that you start, especially when you on like a probationary period. After a while, you can always sign up and leave that shit.
Yeah, my job, I mean, they literally created this for me. So
Oh, okay.
this was really nice for me, you know.
Okay. Okay.
Like I didn't go back in my same role, but I went as a manager because I had to do it for the family
Okay.
and they did not have this shift at all. They had to create that for me. So that
Okay.
was really helpful. But I can definitely transfer somewhere. We're literally in all 50 states, like the
Oh, that's
company I
great.
work for.
Okay.
Yeah, we always have contract in the hospital. Most of the department in the hospital, they're through contractor. So I'm part of that team. So any hospital, even if they don't have it at this one, but I definitely want to stay there. Now I'm in, you guys, I'm so happy I'm part of John Hopkins family. So I'm super excited. I've been trying to get in that for such a long time. Now I'm in John Hopkins space, so super excited
Okay.
to work for that organization. But yeah, I mean, after a while, I can go back to it once the kids' schedule kind of like really
Yeah.
settle in. I know it's just because when they're sick, the school will say they can't go. Then
Yep.
you have
Yep.
to call out, and like it's just crazy. So I was like, so me working this shift and make sure somebody's always home during the day. So if there's something when my husband get home, we can kind of transition back and forth. We have babies, little children, so
Yeah. Yep.
so everybody says that's what they all had to do at some point. So I guess we're here.
Okay.
Yeah, but thank you so much. You guys have a very blessed night.
Okay.
And I'm going to my zombie schedule this week.
You will make it, man. You're a strong. You're a strong lady. You're a strong woman. You'll make it. It
Thank
will take a
you.
little while, but once you get adjusted,
Yeah.
like me, like they will schedule me my overtime for. It used to be 10 to 10. So
Mhm.
I'll get it first. For some reason, I never liked 10 to 10 because I'd be like, I don't like. I'm not an early person. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but
It
then I
takes
got
your
used
whole
to it.
day.
Yeah, I got used to the 10 to 10. Guess what? They took me from the 10 to 10. They put me to the 2 to 2. So now I gotta get so sometimes the body cannot react quickly to the changing
Yeah,
schedule.
the
So
body has to adjust.
yeah, I have to adjust. So that's but anyway, thank you again, Fee. My battery is going there now.
Yeah, I'm getting
Yeah.
us off of